You are listening to Still Within, where Stoic stories become your quiet companion through the night, where the ancient voices of calm remind you that peace has always been possible, even in the most restless times. Tonight you are invited to let go, to step away from the noise of the day and to return to the quiet world within you. The body is tired, the mind perhaps still holding on to unfinished thoughts, the echoes of conversations, the weight of plans not yet complete. But here, none of that matters, because here, you are safe to rest. You are safe to breathe. You are safe to remember that even the greatest minds once sought what you seek now: stillness. The Stoics believed that each night was a kind of return, a return to nature, a surrender to the flow that governs all things. Just as the sun yields to the dark, we too must learn to yield, to allow life to hold us for a while. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Let not your mind be disturbed by the things you cannot control, for all is in accordance with nature." He wrote those words not as a distant philosopher, but as a man surrounded by the burdens of empire, the uncertainty of war, the fatigue of constant decision. Yet even then, in the dim light of his tent, he found calm in remembering that life moves as it must, that the universe unfolds as it should, and that peace comes not from changing the world, but from accepting it. As you lie here, listening, the rhythm of your breath begins to slow. Inhale, the present moment. Exhale, all that no longer needs to stay. Perhaps you feel a slight tension in the shoulders, in the jaw, or around the eyes. Gently release it. There is no need to hold on. You have done enough for today. You have thought enough, tried enough, cared enough. Let the weight of the day slip from your body like sand through open fingers. Every breath you take now carries you further from the noise of the world and closer to that sacred quiet that lives at the center of all things. The Stoics did not see sleep as an escape, but as a natural rhythm, a teacher in its own right. For in sleep we surrender control. We practice trust. Trust that the world will go on without us. Trust that life is larger than our plans. Trust that rest too is a form of wisdom. The ancients knew this well. When the philosophers of Athens ended their day, they would walk beneath the stars, feeling the vastness above them, the coolness of the air, the unending hum of life. They looked at the night not with fear but with reverence, as if the cosmos itself were whispering, "Be still and remember you are part of this. You too are part of this." Every cell in your body belongs to the same order that moves the stars. The same breath that fills your lungs is shared by the wind across distant seas. When you rest, you do not fall away from life. You fall deeper into it. You join the silent pulse that beats through everything, from the ocean tide to the whisper of leaves, from the rise of the moon to the stillness in your chest. That stillness is not emptiness. It is awareness without struggle, the natural state of a soul in harmony with itself. As your eyes grow heavier, let each breath guide you further inward. Imagine the world slowly dimming around you, the faint lights fading into a soft horizon, the air cooling, your body growing heavier, anchored in peace. The walls of thought begin to dissolve, and what remains is simple, pure, and present. The soft rhythm of your breath, the gentle hum of being alive. There is a stillness now, a space between thought and sleep, where wisdom begins to speak in silence. Listen. It says, "You have done what you could. You have faced what needed facing, and now you return to the simplest act of all, the act of being." The mind may wander. That is its nature. Do not fight it. Simply notice. Let your thoughts pass like clouds across an ancient sky. Each one dissolves on its own. There is nothing you must do, nothing you must fix. The Stoics often spoke of the present moment as a sacred boundary, the only time truly yours. Seneca wrote, "Lay hold of today's task and you will not depend so much on tomorrow's." And so tonight's task is simple. Be here. Breathe. Rest in the quiet dignity of now. If your thoughts return to the past, smile at them as you would at a child who has lost its way. The past is already written, and every mistake, every joy, every word has brought you to this very breath. If your worries pull you toward the future, gently remind them that tomorrow can care for itself. The Stoics taught that tomorrow is born only from how we live today, and right now living well means resting well. This moment is complete. This breath is enough. And in this quiet enoughness, the heart begins to open, not with effort, but with ease. Like a flower opening at dusk, like a flame softening to an ember, like you returning home to yourself. Let the air fill you again, slow, deep, natural. Inhale, calm. Exhale, release. Inhale, peace. Exhale, the day. The night cradles you as the philosophers once imagined the cosmos itself, cradling the earth, effortlessly, eternally, without the need for control. Every sound around you, every silence between them belongs to the same rhythm. You are not separate from it. You are part of a vast harmony, the harmony of nature, the harmony of being. Even the beating of your heart is a rhythm older than memory, a reminder that you were made for this world, and this world continues through you. The Stoics understood that nature is not something outside of us. It is the very pattern within which we live, breathe, and rest. When we align with it, peace returns naturally, like water settling after a storm. And as your body continues to unwind, remember, to rest is not to give up. It is to trust that the world does not need your constant holding, that even in stillness you are living well. The Stoics taught that virtue begins with understanding what is within our control, and sleep is the perfect act of surrendering what is not. The world turns, the stars move, the moon drifts, and you too are carried by that same current. You do not need to paddle against it. Let yourself be carried. Marcus wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So let your final thoughts tonight be gentle ones, grateful ones, thoughts that remind you how far you've come and how much peace is already within your reach. Think of the simple things that sustained you today, the breath that never left you, the body that carried you, the mind that sought meaning. Gratitude, the Stoics believed, is not just a virtue. It is a doorway to serenity. And as you linger at that doorway, you realize that the night itself is a gift, an unseen sanctuary built for renewal. The night is not an ending. It is a quiet continuation, the unseen work of renewal. Just as the earth restores itself in darkness, so too does your mind, your breath, your being. Let the darkness hold you like a kind teacher, soft, patient, timeless. There is nothing here to fear, only the returning silence of the self. When you close your eyes, you do not disappear. You return to the rhythm, to the breath, to the deep and ancient calm that has always been yours. And if there are still fragments of thought that linger, plans, regrets, ideas, let them drift gently outward, as if you are watching small boats float away on a still lake. The night will take them. The current of time will carry them. You are not their keeper. You are simply the witness resting in the center of all that moves. You are still. You are safe. You are part of something vast, quiet, and eternal. You are, and that is enough. Imagine the faint hum of a Roman camp before dawn. The night air is cool, almost still. In the distance, a few fading embers glow where fires once burned, and the scent of smoke mingles with damp earth. Somewhere beyond the hills, a river moves quietly under the stars. It is the kind of silence that feels ancient, vast enough to hold both fear and faith. In the center of that quiet stands a tent, its entrance open just enough to let the pale light of the moon spill inside. There, seated at a wooden table, is a man who carries the weight of an empire. His armor rests beside him, his cloak folded neatly. His face is lined not with age alone, but with the strain of command, the burden of knowing that thousands look to him for decisions that decide life and death. He is Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, and at this hour he is not giving orders, not drafting decrees. He is writing in silence. The wax tablet before him glows softly in the flicker of an oil lamp. His hand moves slowly, deliberately. Each word he carves is not for the world, but for himself. Reminders of the truths he must live by when the world grows heavy. Do not waste what remains of your life in thoughts about others, he writes. It is not what they say or do that disturbs you, but your own opinion about it. He pauses, looks up toward the darkness, and breathes. The camp around him is asleep, but his thoughts are awake. Not restless, not chaotic, but searching. He feels the tension between what he must control and what he must let go of. Tomorrow he will lead his army into another uncertain day, but tonight he belongs to no one but the stillness. In moments like this, Marcus found what every soul eventually seeks, the quiet within the storm. He knew that peace does not come from the absence of hardship, but from the mastery of response. To him, philosophy was not an escape from reality. It was a discipline for living fully in it. The same calm he sought in the tent of a Roman camp is the calm you seek now, in your own quiet space at the end of your day. As you listen, imagine yourself there beside him. The ground beneath you is firm and cool. The air tastes of wood smoke and dew. In the distance, horses shift softly in their sleep, the faint rhythm of their breathing matching your own. Above you, the night sky stretches like a vast tapestry of silence. Marcus sits beside you, not as a ruler but as another human being trying to find balance in an uncertain world. He turns toward you with a faint smile, his voice low and steady. "All we control," he says, "is the mind. Everything else is the flow of nature." His words are simple, but in them lies the heart of Stoicism. For the Stoics believe that the path to peace is not found in shaping the world to our will, but in aligning our will with the world. Think of your own day, the small frustrations, the unexpected turns, the things you wished had gone differently. The Stoics would tell you none of these are enemies. They are teachers, each one showing you where your peace still depends on things outside your control. As Marcus once wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your judgment about it." As you breathe in, picture Marcus looking out over the sleeping camp, watching the stars fade into the faint blush of morning. He knows the coming day will test him again, but he feels no panic. The discipline of thought, that quiet mastery of perception, has become his refuge. And that same refuge is open to you now. Breathe in, acceptance. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, courage. Breathe out, control. You may notice as you listen that the night around you feels different now. Quieter, deeper, the ancient light that once touched Marcus's face now touches yours. The same wisdom that guided him, the same breath that moved through his chest, moves through you. Marcus once wrote that the soul becomes colored by the thoughts it chooses to hold. What color fills your soul tonight? Is it the anxious gray of worry? The red of restlessness? Or perhaps the quiet blue of calm acceptance? As you breathe, imagine that with each exhale, the darker shades of tension fade away, replaced by lighter hues, the gentle gold of peace, the soft white of surrender. He would often remind himself that the world is change and life is opinion. He would wake each morning and say, "You will meet the busy, the selfish, the ungrateful. But you have been given reason, so use it well." And in the same way, before you drift to sleep, you might remind yourself, the world may not always meet your hopes, but your peace is not up for negotiation. It is yours to keep. Marcus puts down his stylus and closes his eyes. His breathing slows. The faint sound of the river reaches his tent, steady and rhythmic. The stars above begin to fade as dawn edges forward, painting the horizon with muted light. And in that half-darkness, he whispers a final thought, one meant for himself, and perhaps for anyone listening across centuries. Be like the rock against which the waves break, yet it stands firm, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. The words echo softly, not as an order but as a comfort. To be the rock is not to resist life. It is to remain grounded in what cannot be taken from you. The world will shift, the tides will rise and fall, but your inner foundation, your reason, your calm, your virtue, is untouched. As you lie here, feel that same steadiness building within you. Each breath another wave, each exhale another release. You do not have to resist your thoughts. You only need to remain unmoved by them. The waves may crash, but the rock stands quietly, at peace with their passing. Now imagine Marcus rising slowly from his table. He steps outside the tent, the night air brushing against his face. The horizon glows faintly with the coming light. He looks toward it not with fear but with readiness and the kind born from acceptance. He does not know what the day will bring, but he knows who he will be when it arrives. That, for him, is enough. And as he stands there, alone yet not lonely, the same dawn that once touched his eyes stretches across time to reach you now. Wherever you are, whoever you are, it reminds you that calm is timeless, that the strength of a Stoic is not found in the grand gestures of power, but in the quiet courage of acceptance. Let that realization settle gently in your chest. You too can meet your days with calm. You too can release what lies beyond your reach. You too can wake tomorrow, renewed not by control but by clarity. The night deepens once more around you, and Marcus's image fades into the distance, a soft ember of memory glowing in the dark. Yet his presence lingers in your breath, in your pulse, in the space between each thought. The ancient light remains, and within it the same truth he carried: peace is not given. It is remembered, control. The illusion that ties us to worry, to fear, to endless effort. We hold on to plans, people, outcomes, believing that if we grip tighter, life will obey. But life was never meant to be gripped. It moves like the tide, like wind across stone, shaping everything in its quiet way. Epictetus taught that freedom begins not when the world bends to us, but when we stop trying to bend the world. Some things are in our control, he said, and some are not. That single line has carried souls through storms for centuries. As you lie here breathing slowly, notice what you still try to control. The pace of tomorrow, the memory of yesterday, the way things should have gone. These are the small threads that keep the mind restless. Gently loosen them one by one. You cannot control the thoughts that arise, but you can choose not to chase them. You cannot control how long it takes to fall asleep, but you can choose to rest right now in acceptance. The Stoics did not reject effort, they refined it. They saw that peace begins when effort meets wisdom, to act well when action is needed, to release when it is not. This is the rhythm of life: tension and release, will and surrender, day and night. Nature shows it in every breath you take. The inhale gathers, the exhale lets go. The sea advances and retreats. The seasons arrive and fade. All things flow in cycles, never clinging, never resisting. Imagine for a moment that your life is part of this same natural current. You do not have to fight it. You can trust it to carry you where you must go. Marcus Aurelius wrote that what happens to each of us is woven into the fabric of the whole. You are not apart from the pattern. You are the pattern, a single thread in the great design. So let the need to control begin to soften. The world does not need your constant direction. The stars move without your command. The heart beats without your instruction. The breath flows whether you think of it or not. Life sustains itself. Your only task now is to allow. Allow the thoughts to pass. Allow the body to rest. Allow yourself to be. Notice how, as you surrender, the mind grows lighter. The more you release, the more space you find. Control was a weight you did not need to carry. In its place, there is ease. A quiet strength that comes not from doing, but from being aligned with what is. In this stillness, the Stoic finds mastery, not over the world, but within it. The mastery of acceptance, the mastery of peace. Let the body sink deeper into the surface beneath you. Let gravity hold you as the earth holds all things. You are safe to let go, safe to trust the rhythm that carries everything forward. The Stoics did not seek to escape the world. They sought to live in harmony with it. And harmony cannot be forced. It can only be allowed. In this moment, you are allowing. Let each breath be a quiet act of surrender, an offering to the natural order. Inhale, presence. Exhale, control. Inhale, trust. Exhale, effort. The muscles soften. The breath deepens. The thoughts slow, then fade. You have entered the space between doing and being, where peace is no longer something to reach for, and it simply is. This is where the ancient wisdom lives, in the quiet recognition that what is beyond you was never yours to hold, and what is within you is already whole. There is a gentle power in surrender, a wisdom older than words. The ancients knew it well. To surrender was not to be defeated, but to be aligned, with nature, with truth, with the quiet pulse of the universe itself. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of one's fate, to welcome what comes not with resistance but with grace, for what is meant for you was already woven into your path, long before you sought to shape it, and what passes from you was never yours to hold. Close your eyes a little deeper. Feel the body's weight, how it yields to the bed beneath you, how the earth beneath that holds both of you without condition. There is nothing to force, nothing to resist. The world keeps turning, the stars keep burning, and you too are part of this quiet continuity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." These were not mere words for him. They were the way he survived the burden of an empire. Each night he laid his worries beside him, like armor he no longer needed to wear. The philosopher-emperor knew that peace did not come from control, but from release. Surrender is not the opposite of strength. It is its purest form. For it takes courage to stop fighting what already is. It takes wisdom to see that you were never separate from the flow of life. Let that understanding settle into your breath. Inhale, the present. Exhale, resistance. Inhale, trust. Exhale, control. Each breath carries you deeper into the river of calm. The water of being moves through you, soft, ancient, patient. You do not need to swim against it. You need only float. Epictetus taught that when something happens, it is not the event itself that disturbs us, but our judgment of it. What if tonight you released those judgments? What if, for a few quiet hours, you allowed the world to be as it is? No good, no bad, no should or shouldn't, only is. The stillness between your breaths is wide enough to hold it all. In this silence, the boundaries between you and the world begin to blur. You are not apart from what happens, you are within it. You are the wave and the ocean, the spark and the fire, the breath and the wind. To surrender is to remember this unity, to rest in it without fear. Seneca wrote that life is like a play. It matters not how long, but how well it is acted. You cannot choose the length of your story, nor every scene that unfolds. But you can choose to perform with grace, to step off the stage each night with peace. Tonight, your curtain falls not in defeat, but in rest. The performance of the day is done. You bow to the invisible audience of time, and the lights dim to darkness. There in that darkness, renewal begins. The Stoics believed that sleep mirrors death not to frighten us, but to remind us to live. Each night, as we surrender to the unknown, we practice acceptance, a rehearsal for the peace that comes when all striving ends. Feel that peace now, the surrender that frees you, the calm that asks for nothing, the wisdom that whispers softly, "You are already part of the order you seek." You have always been. When you wake again, life will begin anew as it always has. But for now, surrender is enough. The body softens. The mind loosens its hold. The soul, if such a word can describe the quiet awareness within, expands into the dark, unafraid. There is no boundary here. Only being, only rest. Only the steady pulse of existence carrying you gently onward. Above the quiet world, the sky stretches vast and endless, a soft ocean of shadow and silver. The ancients often looked here when words failed them. The night sky was their teacher, their mirror, their reminder that all human worry is small beneath eternity. When Marcus Aurelius stood upon the balcony of his camp, he would lift his gaze to the stars. Even amid war, even beneath the weight of empire, he sought the same peace you seek now. The calm that comes when you realize how little you must control and how vast the universe truly is. He wrote, "Look at the stars often as if you were one of them. For in that gaze, perspective returns. The mind, so tangled in its own small storms, begins to clear. You remember that you too are made of this, of stardust and silence, of the same matter that burns quietly in distant suns. The breath that fills your lungs tonight has traveled through ages, through forests, through cities long forgotten, through the open hands of philosophers and kings. It is the same air Zeno once breathed as he walked along the painted porch, speaking of reason and nature. The same air that cooled Seneca's brow as he wrote his final letters. The same air that filled Marcus's chest before he closed his eyes beneath the stars. And now it fills yours, gently, endlessly. There is a lineage of calm that lives in every breath. Imagine now that you are standing upon a quiet hillside in ancient Greece. The air is warm, the earth beneath you cool and steady. Above, the sky is a deep river of blue-black velvet, freckled with stars that shimmer like scattered embers. You hear nothing but the hum of night, the soft rustle of olive trees, the distant sigh of the sea. Somewhere nearby, a philosopher's voice drifts softly through the air, speaking not to an audience but to himself. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The words dissolve into the wind, carried upward to join the silence of the heavens. You lift your gaze and see how the constellations form their patient shapes, figures of gods and heroes once worshipped, now quiet myths in an infinite sky. The Stoics looked upon these same constellations not for escape but for belonging. They saw themselves not as rulers of nature but as parts of it. The same fire that burns in the stars burns quietly within the human spirit, reason, order, and light. It is the flame of the Logos, the rational principle that connects all things. As you breathe, feel that connection awaken in you. The pulse of your heart mirrors the slow rhythm of the cosmos. Each breath is a tide, each thought a passing cloud across the moon. You are both infinitesimal and infinite, a single drop within the vast ocean of being. There is a humility in that knowing and a great peace, for in the face of immensity your worries lose their weight. What once seemed urgent softens into quiet understanding. What once felt chaotic finds its place within a larger harmony. The Stoics found serenity not by shrinking the world, but by expanding their sight. When Marcus wrote of the stars, he did so to remind himself that all human troubles are but small threads woven into the eternal fabric. All things, he said, are interwoven with one another. A sacred bond unites them. Look up now, in your mind's eye I can see that bond. Each star, each breath, each life, and all glowing in quiet relation. Nothing stands alone. Nothing is lost. You belong to this night sky. You belong to this moment. You belong to the quiet law that holds the stars in their courses and guides your heart toward peace. Feel the vastness settle softly within you. You are no longer thinking, you are being. No longer seeking, simply seeing. No longer holding, simply resting. The philosophers of old would often fall silent under the stars, not because they lacked words, but because they had found something greater than speech, the pure presence of wonder. Let that wonder be yours tonight. Let the immensity of the cosmos remind you that you are safe in its care. The universe is not against you. It has made space for you. As the breath slows, the stars above seem to draw closer until they blur into a soft silver mist. You are drifting between thought and dream, between self and sky. The mind releases its final thread of control. You are no longer the one watching the stars. You are among them, floating, weightless, timeless, at peace. In this vast quiet, there are no questions left to answer. Only stillness. Only the endless unfolding of night. You have returned, not to sleep alone, but to the deeper rhythm that underlies all things. The Stoics called this living according to nature. Tonight you rest according to nature, peacefully, completely, without resistance. Let the stars fade gently into the dark behind your eyelids. Let the silence fill you with its steady wisdom. The night holds you as it once held them. Zeno, Seneca, Marcus, and countless others who sought the same eternal calm. Rest now beneath their same sky. You are still. You are safe. You are part of everything that has ever been.